The fastest way to lose power in your own life is to announce your next move before it's real. You tell people you're starting a business. You post that you're quitting your job. You say you're going to the gym every day now. You announce the project, the goal, the shift, the transformation. And for a moment, it feels incredible. You feel productive. You feel seen. You feel ahead. Then something strange happens. Your motivation drops. The energy fades. The plan slows down. And suddenly, the thing you were so certain about never fully materializes. If that pattern feels familiar, this video is about you. Because today, we're talking about why revealing your final move too early quietly destroys leverage, motivation, and momentum. Picture this. You're at dinner with friends. You casually say, "I'm thinking of leaving my job and starting something of my own." The table lights up. Questions, praise, curiosity. That's amazing. You'd be so good at that. You explain your idea. You describe your vision. You talk through the steps. You feel bold. You feel powerful. But when you go home that night, something subtle has changed. The urgency is gone. The pressure to prove it has softened. You already received the emotional reward. Your brain-logged social approval is progress. And tomorrow, when the hard work begins, it feels heavier than it should. Here's the uncomfortable truth. When you reveal your final move too early, you give away psychological leverage. Not because people are evil, not because they want to sabotage you, but because humans are wired to respond to signals. And when you broadcast your intention before it's secured, you change the dynamic. You invite opinions. You invite comparison. You invite subtle competition. You expose something fragile before it has structure. Let's make this more personal. Think about the last time you shared a big goal. Maybe you said you were going to get in shape. Maybe you told everyone you were writing a book. Maybe you announced a major life change online. What happened next? Did you follow through at the level you imagined? Or did something shift? Research in psychology shows that publicly declaring a goal can create a premature sense of accomplishment. When people acknowledge your intention, your brain releases dopamine as if progress has already been made. The applause substitutes for execution. You feel rewarded before you've earned it. But motivation is only one layer. There's a deeper social layer most people ignore. The moment people know your plan, they adjust to it. Some will doubt you. Some will subtly discourage you. Some will compare themselves to you. Some will compete. Even supportive people may unintentionally project their fears onto your vision. Are you sure that's stable? That sounds risky. What if it doesn't work? Now your mind is processing not just your own uncertainty, but theirs. And then there's timing. When you reveal your move early, you lose the advantage of surprise. Surprise is power. When people don't know your next step, they can't prepare for it, influence it, or undermine it. When they do know, they unconsciously factor it into how they treat you. If your boss knows you plan to leave, your opportunities shift. If colleagues know you're aiming for a promotion, dynamics change. If competitors know your strategy, they adapt. Information shapes behavior, and loose information weakens position. This doesn't only apply to big career moves, it applies to everyday leverage. Think about negotiations. If you reveal your bottom line too quickly, you lose room to maneuver. If you reveal how much you want something, you lose control over the exchange. The person who asks more and reveals less often controls the direction, not through manipulation, but through restraint. Now let's address something deeper. Many people reveal their final move because they crave validation. Sharing the plan feels like accountability. It feels like courage. It feels like commitment. But often it's anxiety. You want reassurance. You want approval. You want confirmation that the risk is smart. So you crowdsource confidence, and the more opinions you collect, the more diluted your conviction becomes. There's another subtle danger. When you share a plan with low-discipline individuals, they normalize inaction. If your closest circle constantly talks about big dreams but never executes, their energy seeps into you. You discuss ideas instead of building them. You analyze instead of acting. You fantasize instead of finishing. The conversation becomes the destination. Let's pause here. This is not about secrecy rooted in paranoia. It's not about isolating yourself. It's about protecting fragile momentum. Early-stage goals are like sparks. They need oxygen, but not wind. Too much exposure too early can blow them out. When something is new, uncertain, and forming, it requires focused energy. Every outside opinion divides attention. Now imagine two scenarios. In the first, you decide to get in shape. You post it online. You tell everyone. You announce your new identity. For the first week, you feel accountable. Then life gets busy. You miss a session. You feel embarrassed. The public commitment becomes pressure. In the second scenario, you decide quietly. You show up to the gym without announcement. Weeks pass. Results start showing. Someone asks what changed. You shrug and say, just being consistent. The reveal comes after proof. Which version feels more powerful? Silence builds weight. It builds internal pressure. When no one knows your plan, you work without external noise. You fail privately. You adjust privately. You refine quietly. And when the outcome appears, it speaks louder than any announcement ever could. There's also strategic value in ambiguity. When people don't fully understand your direction, they can't categorize you. Categorization makes you predictable. Predictability reduces influence. The less predictable your timeline, the more space you control. This is why powerful negotiators ask more questions than they answer. They gather information. They observe. They let others expose their position first. Let's talk about sabotage. Not dramatic sabotage, subtle sabotage. Sometimes when you announce growth, people who are comfortable with the old version of you feel threatened. They don't attack directly. They joke. They doubt lightly. They tease. We'll see how long that lasts. That seed plants itself in your mind, and during moments of difficulty, it echoes. Their casual comment becomes internal resistance. You gave that comment access by revealing your move too early. There's a turning point in this conversation. It's the moment you realize you don't need to announce progress to validate it. The work itself is enough. When you detach from the need for early applause, your focus sharpens. You move differently. You speak less about intention and more about action. So how do you apply this? First, separate planning from broadcasting. When you have an idea, write it down. Map it out. Pressure test it privately. Don't rush to social media. Don't rush to group chats. Let it sit. If after several weeks it still holds weight, then consider sharing selectively. Second, choose who gets access to your goals. Not everyone deserves early access to your vision. Share with those who execute. Share with those who build. Share with those who understand discipline. Avoid overexposing plans to people who only talk. Third, announce results, not intentions. There's a psychological shift when people see evidence instead of hearing promises. Evidence demands respect. Promises invite skepticism. When you say, "I started a business," it lands differently than, "I'm thinking of starting something." The former is solid. The latter is fragile. Fourth, practice strategic silence in negotiations. Ask more than you reveal. Let others explain their position fully before you expose yours. The one who speaks last often adjusts best. Fifth, learn to tolerate the discomfort of moving quietly. Silence can feel lonely. You won't get immediate praise. You won't get validation. But you'll gain something far more valuable. Focus. Now imagine this shift over time. Instead of being known for big announcements, you're known for sudden results. Instead of talking about goals, you're recognized for execution. Instead of debating plans publicly, you refine them privately. Your reputation changes. People stop underestimating you because they never fully know your next step. There's power in being underestimated. When others assume you're static, your movement surprises them. Surprise creates impact. Impact creates authority. Authority builds influence. Let's bring this back to identity. When you constantly reveal unfinished plans, you become someone who talks about potential. When you protect your final move, you become someone who delivers outcomes. That identity shift is profound. It changes how you see yourself. You stop chasing external reinforcement. You start trusting internal discipline. At the end of the day, your goals are not entertainment for others. They are commitments to yourself. Broadcasting them prematurely turns them into social currency. Protecting them keeps them sacred. Imagine this version of you. You're building something quietly. No posts, no announcements, no dramatic declarations. Weeks pass, months pass. Then one day, the result appears. Promotion secured, business launched, body transformed, skill mastered. People are surprised. They ask how long you've been working on it. You smile and say, "A while." That moment carries weight. That moment feels earned. You didn't need early applause. You didn't need outside validation. You didn't need commentary. You needed execution. So the next time you feel the urge to announce a plan, pause. Ask yourself why. Is it strategy? Or is it a search for reassurance? If it's reassurance, sit with the discomfort instead. Let your actions be the only proof. Move quietly. Adjust privately. Reveal selectively. Announce results. Because the strongest move is often the one no one sees coming. And when you finally make it, it won't need explanation. It will speak for itself.